I used to be a real victim of grind culture. I used to think like, if I'm not grinding 24/7, then I'm not being productive. Therefore, I'm not going towards my dream. Therefore, I'm being lazy. That's not really true, because if you keep grinding,
I'm burn out.
you're going to burn out. Now, you may need to extend yourself and stretch yourself in certain moments, for sure. Absolutely. That has to happen all the time, because you can't have like a balance at all parts of your life. You're trying to reach something extraordinary, but like this whole notion of like no rest, no breaks, that doesn't exist. That's not healthy. Right. And also, you have to, if you're grinding, something that my therapist told me, what's your North Star? If you have no direction in your grind, it's kind of wasted effort. You might as well not be doing anything, because if you're just grinding for the sake of grinding, you're not really getting anywhere, right? So you have to grind with intention and with alignment and with purpose. And that's something I've been preaching on my own sort of like individual TikTok platform. And I think that's really resonated with people, because especially amongst Gen Z, they've been like, what are we grinding for? There's no hope. We can't buy houses. We're broke. There's no jobs. Like, inflation sucks. Eggs are $17. But I tell them like, yo, what is it that you want out of life? Right. Yeah. We even on a micro level, like, what is it that you want today out of life? Yeah. And then pursue it from that standpoint.
Do you also feel like in the industry that you've been in, or just in general in school, that it's more so, you know, us two being men of color, you know, Black and Latino, that good or just average is never good enough, you know? Like, we have to go beyond, you know, above and beyond. So even, you know, at first, like, I guess my first thoughts of success was graduating college. Mm-hmm. You know, I was the first one of my siblings to graduate college. So at first I'm like, oh, I made it. That's it. Like, we said, we find out. You know, that's common nowadays, and that's a good thing. It's common nowadays, but it's like, you know, you got to keep pushing. That's never just enough. You know, it's just like you're just scraping the surface with a bachelor's degree, you know?
Oh, now a bachelor's degree now is like a high school degree, right? Like, you need more than that nowadays. But back to your question about like being a person of color and having to like grind twice as hard just to get half as far. I mean, do you want to talk about my thoughts or the practical realities that I've seen? The practical reality is, as a person of color, you probably have to grind 2-3 times harder than your non-person of color counterpart in order to get to the same place, right? And everyone's going to say, no, it's an equal platform. It's an equal footing. And yes, it may be like that on the surface, but think about the connections and the decision makers. Who do they look like? Yeah. Who are they going to have an unconscious bias towards, right? People who look like them. Yeah. When you are in a function, who else are you going to gravitate to naturally?
Yeah, someone
right?
looks like me.
Looks like me, right? Because I'm going to think there's something, and you're going to find that there's something in common there. And it's like the most biggest disappointment when you don't connect with them. You're like, damn.
That's the worst.
Damn.
That's the worst.
They're out. But no, like it's absolutely true. You can't run away from it. But that's already been ingrained from us, at least for me, because I was a first generation immigrant, and it's just immigrant mentality. You got to work. You got to see. Like, I want to challenge this a little bit though. I think the immigrant mentality, I could speak about this, they speak from a floor perspective. They want you to like have a safe, secure floor. Go to school. Yeah. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, something safe. Yeah. Because we sacrifice so much to get to this country. We don't want our investment, i.e. you, to flop. Right?
You gotta
make it, because like, yo, however you got to this country, like, you know, shout out to all the people that come here and work hard, but right? They don't really talk about like, yo, go start your own business, be an entrepreneur. That's risky. Yeah. That can, right? Like, so I think us being the children of those immigrants and coming here and having stable careers, we're allowed to give our children the go chase your dreams, obviously with parameters and with sound decision making. Yeah. Right? But if you want to be an entrepreneur, go be an entrepreneur. School is not the only way.
Yeah, of course.
Like, if you don't like school, at least finish high school, at least finish college, right? Like, at least finish college, you never have to go to school ever again. But if you don't like going to school, what else do you like doing? And I sort of like face that within my own family, where there's people who are like, I don't like school, but I don't really like doing anything else. So yeah, what is it that you like doing? Yeah. Right?
But also, I guess, you know, I'm sure when you have your future family, it's something where even before they get to that point, they would have had opportunities to explore many different avenues, different interests, so they can then make that decision of, oh, I don't like school, but I can do this.
Right.
Where sometimes if you don't have that exposure, you don't even know what you want to do or who you want to be, but you're like, I know for sure I don't like school. You know?
Yeah.